Hello people of the web, and welcome back to another episode from the Vanilla High server. We start today's episode at the slime farm. Not because I have a project here, but so I can share my frustration. If you look behind me, you might notice that we no longer have any iron golems, and I didn't kill them. This is a 1.14 glitch. I came down here to check the output chest, only to discover that they're all gone. 1.14 has been an interesting update, but has included a lot of bugs, including that lighting glitch, and of course I have no hopper minecart anymore to collect the few slime balls that I get from wandering slime. I best go get supplies and fix it. One hopper minecart. And we just have to go down here and put it on the track. Right, that's off. Now for the more difficult task of placing all of the iron golems, which I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. I'll be back later. I lied. I said I'd be back later, and I noticed that I'm now missing 2 pet slimes. We used to have 2 small ones and 1 big one, which means we either have Joy or Pain, but we're missing Steve. Now that was a royal pain, but it's all done, and I've seen plenty of slime dying while I was doing it, which means we've gained some slime balls, which is always a good thing. Yeah, I might have messed up. 1 iron golem might have died. Now for something a little bit more positive. As you can see, Hushbug has been busy. I'm very dark sitting here. One moment. See if that fixes it. Much better. Now you can see me. As you can see, Hushbug has been busy building the decoration around this room. Now, she did mention several times on my Skype call with her that the zombie in a boat is still in a boat by the aquarium, and so I asked her if she wanted a hand moving it in, and she went no, because the aquarium needs decorating, and for decoration I need coral blocks, which I think was a very, very subtle hint that I need to go gather some coral blocks for her. So that's where we're going. Oh, there's a skeleton on top of what used to be the beacon. He's a very long way away, so I have a choice. Bow or trident? I'm going to choose trident because, well, why not? What's my chance of getting it first time? I missed. And can I have my trident back, please? What? Did he just despawn? How rude. Oh, there's my trident. I think 5 shulkers should be plenty. Now, there used to be a map on this wall, which was a treasure map. However, I did grab the treasure, but I kept the map because it was right next to a coral reef. Unfortunately, that's another victim of 1.14. Now, I think I know the vague direction that I need to head into, but I don't know if I'm going to actually find it, and it's going to be even harder with the world not loading. So, wish me luck. Woo! On the plus side, it's raining, so I can riptide everywhere. Ah, that's a tree. Okay, maybe I don't want to riptide everywhere. Ooh. This is new. Ooh, I like this. That needs a support. Don't tell her I'm messing around with her build. I'm assuming one of these will have maybe jungle wood? Jungle wood. Wonder if she'll notice. And before I head off into the sunset in search for coral, I know that I need to grab these ink sacs, because that's another thing Hushbug has been telling me we need. And if I don't grab these, I'll get told off. I say that, she doesn't really tell me off. I'm just trying to do my best to help out, because she helps me out most of the time. In fact, I think right now she's loading the witch farm. Despite struggling to be able to see, I have found a coral reef. Although I will do a little bit of a check around the area. I want to make sure that no one's settled here. Oh, junk border. Ooh, a boat. Well, now we know that no one's been here, because if someone was here, they would have taken these pants. I mean, these... Oh, look at them. They're so pretty. Right, where do I start? I think best start at the edge. There's phantoms there. I'm going to hide until daytime. Air pocket. Aha! So, while I wait a few minutes for day to come round, I shall make tea. I have returned, and I gave 2 shulkers full of coral blocks to Hushbug. She seemed quite excited, so I'm expecting, while I do other jobs around the base, she'll be working on this. And I'm hopeful that it will look good. And then I can move Scuba Steve into the tank. One of the things I often do when I AFK is fish, which is what all of these chests are for. Now, currently we have fewer than I normally stock up in here. All of the perfect ones, of which I've just found a perfect piercing one, get put in the right chest in the library, and the reasonable books that I want to keep getting put in the odd bin, also in the library. Now, one of the features with 1.14 is we can take books like Power 3, which I really don't want to keep, and we can take them to a grindstone. I only learnt of this yesterday. Oh, let's change to something that needs repairing, and take my armour off. Let's see what this does. So, durability 901, Power 3. 929, and a blank book. This means I can clear through all of my trash, of which there is plenty of it. I successfully mended my shovel and my pick and my armour, cleared through all the junk, and I've got some perfect enchantments left just to go to the library. Now I think it's about time I sort through some of these enchantments, because while some of them are useful, some of them clearly aren't useful, and there's no order to them. Luckily these 8 are empty, so I can use those to sort these. Although I might have spent a lot of time complaining about 1.14, I have got some good news, and that's that being here at the witch farm seems to produce a nice amount of drops, and I think we'll be developing this place further. Something I'd like to do this episode is change one of these spawners to be... Oh, wow, that was a big rubber band. Change one of the spawners to be a grinder. Just need to decide whether I'm going to do the spider one, which is down that tunnel, or the cave spider one, which is just over here. I was hoping that while I was recording a load of witches would drop down, but they were doing it before I pressed record. Ah, cave spider spawn. Well, before I get started on that, I do need to grab the glowstone out of the chest and take it back to the base, because Hushbug needs some glowstone for her project that she's working on, the cove. I have a lot of things I would like to do here at the witch farm. Obviously, one of them would be to improve the visuals of this area down here. But before I work on the aesthetics, it's best to work on all of the redstone parts. This helps to ensure that while I spend time working on improving the appearance of the farm can be running in the background and creating items for us. This collection area behind me is certainly going to change, but for now it's working nicely and can continue doing so while I work on the next project. Now the first project that I have in mind is sorting out this spider spawner and turning it into a string farm. Unfortunately, as you can see, I didn't bring any materials with me, so I will need to head home and stock up on supplies. But before I do that, I do have torches, so I can start trimming out the area and building the room, and then I can go grab all the supplies once I've done that. It seems I lied. I didn't have any torches. I do have end rods, but I prefer to use torches because they wash away. So I did a tiny bit of mining and grabbed some coal from nearby caves. All I need now is sticks, and fortunately for me, that's one thing that we'd be getting plenty of from here. The spawnable area from a dungeon spawner is 4 blocks in any direction from the spawner. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Whenever I do this, I always have to stop and remind myself that mossy cobblestone is no longer rare as it used to be. Back in the olden days, the only way of getting mossy cobblestone was from these spawners. Now we can just make the stuff. Okay, that made me jump. The room is definitely well lit, and suddenly a spider just spawned. I don't know how. There is no space in here that is dark enough for it to spawn. Hopefully it's just a one-off. On the other hand, I'm sure you'd enjoy it if I screamed like a little girl. Like I did just a moment ago. Fortunately, I didn't have my recording software going. Ugh! How? I've cleared as much as I can, and I've started decorating the walls. Now, I plan on having something different in the middle, but I don't know what yet. But I definitely want to line the walls with something, just in case I'm ever mining in the area. I don't want to accidentally mine into this room, which is something I have done at the sheep farm with the cave spider spawners. Now, I was going to make a list and go home. However, I think Hushbug is now home, and I could give her a call and give her my shopping list. And quicker than Amazon Prime, she's here! That saved me having to make a trip. And it means that I've got a slave. I mean, help! For the build. Don't tell her I said slave. It really didn't take us long. The room is now lined nicely, and the minecart track is in place. And I've done the minecart unloader, which I might as well set going in a moment. But first off, let's just place the floor here, which will be made out of magma blocks. And as you can tell by the sound, if I put my ear to this wall, spiders are dying. And we're collecting string. So much so that it's only been on for a couple of minutes and we've already got over half a stack. So it works nicely. Although I did have to move the unloading system because I put it 1 block closer and the hopper minecart was catching on this magma block. I have made that mistake many times before, and this probably won't be the last, but at least it's a very simple bit of redstone to redo. Ooh, 40 string. And all the time we were working on that spider farm, we gained a few redstone, which is nice. The output location for the string is very temporary and will be changed in the future. But for now, it's working nicely and it allows me to work on this room. Now, my intention is to change the design of the witch farm output so that all of the drops get carried over down here and put along this wall in some sort of auto sorting system. Now, the first step is to figure out how many storage slices I'll need, which means I best plan it out with science. I have wood, so I just need some sticks. Witch is dying. Sticks. Make some signs and then I'll start allocating slices. I forgot that in 1.14 we have new signs. Sure. Birch signs, that'll be fine. It's different. There are a lot more things than I initially thought there would be. Also, let's move string over here, and then the last stack can be for miscellaneous, or anything that's not already stacked up. Yeah, that's quite an extensive list. 12 shulkers, 1 for each slice. And although it's really not necessary to add as many sea lanterns as I'm going to add, I like to do it for uniformity and as much light goes into the room as possible. We want a hopper going into the back of each of these shulkers. Whoops, into the back of each of these shulkers. I like hearing the spider farm working in the background. Now I'm sure this is probably not optimized, but I'm pretty sure it'll work quite nicely. So each of the slices will have a shulker output at the bottom and backup chests behind it. If, however, we end up with too much of something, so this slice is rotten flesh. So if that shulker fills up with rotten flesh, then the chest behind it will back up, and the next chest, and the single chest, and then the hopper. Now, I've put a comparator reading off that hopper with 2 redstone dust between it and a repeater. So in theory, we can test it if we remove that chest. If one item's in that hopper, yes, the comparator turns on, but it's not strong enough a signal to turn on the lamp. But at some point, if enough stuff backs up into this hopper, which I will simulate as soon as the server lets me. Right, so if I put in stone like that, if there's too much, then the indicator light turns on, which tells me that this row is then backed up. And then I just need to replace the shulker. And this stuff back here is just the standard sorting system redstone. And yes, dropper goes there because it goes on top of the hopper, reducing lag. Oh, that won't work. I forgot that's where the hopper line needs to go, so droppers need to go above that. Damn, I was so close. There, that's better. Droppers are in the right place, and this is the hopper chain that carries things over the sorter. I have just realised that my design is a little bit flawed, in that if enough stuff goes into the chest, into the hopper above this chest, then there'll be enough signal strength to power multiple redstone lamps, which kind of defeats the point of it. Although, in fairness, it should be clear where it comes from, because it'll be the central one. But it's still not ideal. So if I put all of these in here, yeah, both of those turn on. Ah! Didn't think of that, did I? I have just had a thought of another way of possibly doing it. So if instead of reading off of this hopper, I read off this hopper, I'm limited to how long a signal strength I'll get out of it, because I'll have most of the slots taken up with filter items. So if I put all of those in there, let me remove this hopper and then put in, it's supposed to be rotten flesh. I don't have a full stack of rotten flesh, so I'll do 64 of those. So worst case scenario, that filter gets completely full. Let's see how far the signal strength goes. So 4. Oh, it still stays at 3, doesn't go to 4. So if I have it reading off of this hopper, yes, the light will flash if I require a 3 signal strength. But in theory, I should then be able to see if it's flashing, it's not a problem. But if it's solid light, then we have an issue. Now this, in theory, should work. And to test it, I have a chest. So all I have to do is, because this is set to accept stone, yes, not rotten flesh, I don't have enough to test it. We'll throw that in there, then run round to the front. It'll take a little while for the filter to fill up, and then the light should start flickering. Oh, because there's a repeater, it stays on, of course. And then it turns off as soon as that hopper's out. So it's only on while it's loading. It's not a big problem. I think I can live with that. But if you have any better ideas, please feel free to message me. Because I know I'm not particularly good at this stuff. I'm finding my way. So that is one slice done. And I need to head back to the base because I'm out of chests. Another option to going back to the base and grabbing the stuff myself was to get another delivery. She's good to me. Luckily for me, Hushbug brought plenty of chests that we could finish all of the sorting system. The only thing that I did neglect to ask her for was polished stone. 3 of those. They can go in there, and I just need a stack of stone. Right. So while I'm explaining this to Hushbug on Skype, I'll be getting my smooth stone. I think that's how you get smooth stone. Yes, it is. Now this floor might look a little bit garish to you, but I have a cunning plan and it involves using some of this string. Carpet. However, white carpet would be a bit boring. So what we need is some kind of colouring. I went upstairs and look what I found. Blue orchids. That would make a nice blue carpet. The colour of the carpet is temporary. Now Hushbug has kindly agreed to redo it when she next visits with a better selection of colours. That's going to do it for this week's episode. Another step forward. Now, if you have any suggestions or comments, please leave them below. I would really appreciate it if you could leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, or perhaps recommend me to a friend. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye now.